When it comes to the world of professional hockey, the NHL is of course the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. A league that is made up of players from 16 different countries, spanning as far as Canada to Australia. And of course, a league that consists of the most elite hockey players in the world. However, just because the NHL sits at the top of the leaderboards does not mean it's the only viable professional hockey league. No, there are many phenomenal hockey leagues that not only consist of exciting elite talent, but they also pay well too. Now, you're gonna make a lot more money in the NHL, but for players who may be stuck in the minors, or perhaps even fourth line players who get limited opportunity, playing overseas in a league like the NLA, for example, can be a great option. You'll get more minutes, more opportunity, while at the same time play less games, travel all throughout Europe, while making great money. In fact, according to icehockeyjobs.com, hockey salaries go as followed. Finland, Liga, with an average salary of $120,000. In fourth, we have the SHL, with an average salary of $170,000. And in third, we have the NLA, sitting around $300,000. The KHL, which is a bit harder to track, but the average salary sits around $600,000. And at number one, the NHL sits at $2.5 million. So quite a jump and definitely a noticeable difference, which is why players like to play in the NHL. And do keep in mind, this is just the average, as some KHL players like Ilya Kovalchuk made north of $5-6 million per season. But here's the thing. Some players choose to play overseas for more opportunity, good pay, or as a way to finish off their hockey career. Or perhaps they just experienced a sharp decline. However, some players, well, they didn't really have a choice. Take a recent example in Jake Vertanen. Drafted 6th overall in 2014, Vertanen was seen as an elite skater who could score goals and throw his body around, as he was even the first overall pick in the WHL Bantam draft. And he would have a great WHL career and even had 45 goals in his draft year. But after that, Vertanen took many years bouncing around several leagues, making many Canucks fans assume he was just a massive bust. But that was until 2019, where Jake Vertanen would have his big breakout season, putting up 18 goals in 69 games, and he was looking like a middle six winger who could net 20-25 goals, but he was also an energy player who could throw his body around. Nice, not a bad piece. Except the next season Vertanen would see drastic decline in his entire game. He was getting healthy scratched and was recently accused of assaulting a woman. Now, nothing has been proven in court just of yet, and I'm not going to assume Vertanen was guilty or not guilty or even talk much on the subject, but if it is true, that is horrible and you do deserve to be shunned from playing in the NHL. But if it is false, that is also horrible, because Vertanen did have a future career as a bottom six player. But because of this assault incident, the Vancouver Canucks would buy out Jake Vertanen's contract. And as soon as it was announced, I was on Instagram and clicked on a post. And you know what? Everyone was like, nice, Jake. See you in Russia, buddy. Jake, you have been sent to the Gulag. And definitely don't get me wrong, the KHL is a high-end league where you can have a great career and make some dough. But there's also been objectively a list now of players who did something controversial and then kind of got shipped off to Russia as their only option. It happens. And as you'd expect, everyone assuming Vertanen was being sent to the Gulag, well, they were correct, as no NHL team was going to touch Vertanen, and he would instantly sign in the KHL and go overseas, where he's been playing alright. I thought it'd be interesting to go over NHL players who have been banished to the Gulag, aka, I guess, Russia. And with that, if you can name another NHL player who got banished or perhaps shadow banned, comment down below. I'd love to know. And this will be the last RTH video of the year 2021, and my god, this year's been a ride. We're almost at 70,000 subscribers. We got featured on the YouTube trending page, an accomplishment I never thought I would even come close to, and it's just insane. We started at like 50K, we're almost at 70K. Your guys' support, your encouragement, it makes it so much easier, and you're allowing me to do my dream job, which I think is just incredible. And if you enjoy the videos, press subscribe for your weekly dose of hockey content. What has to be one of the most bizarre hockey careers definitely belongs to Nigel Dawes. It's yes, my man is a bit small, but he is 5'8" of pure muscle meat. And who cares? He's nasty. No, but for real, back in the early 2000s, being 5'8" was a near death sentence to your NHL career. So even though he was an elite scoring prospect with a 47 goal draft year, Nigel Dawes would fall all the way to the 5th round. However, he would keep the status quo, as he would have one of the best AHL rookie seasons in history, put up 14 goals, 29 points in 61 games as a rookie, on top of 34 points in 20 AHL games that season. And at this point, Dawes was a very interesting prospect, as he had potential to be an elite scorer. He would sign with the Flames in 2009, where he would put up 32 points in 66 games, not bad, except for his entire career thus far. Nigel Dawes was not being given the best chances. So the next season when Nigel Dawes would be once again shipped down to the AHL, Nigel Dawes had enough, as the NHL at this point was not going to fully accept small players. And I mean, it still basically isn't. And so, Dawes' hands would be forced, and he would decide to pack his bags and leave to Russia. And Nigel Dawes would become a complete KHL legend. And do keep in mind, the KHL is a low-scoring league. But Dawes didn't care, and he would have 36 goals in 59 games in 2017, 69 points in 2019. Nigel Dawes was a legitimate star. And what's crazy, a serious argument can be made that Nigel Dawes was the top hockey player in the world outside the NHL for a good stretch. Keep in mind, Alex Ovechkin had 24 points in his draft year and went on to have a 52-goal rookie season. So it makes you think, if Dawes played today, he would probably have more opportunity and could have carved out an amazing NHL career. But instead, was basically forced out because of his size, and so, my man would become a KHL legend. What has to be one of the ugliest, disgusting NHL fallouts was without a doubt Brendan Leipzig. Because after being drafted in the 3rd round back in 2012, Leipzig was undersized, but he was a tremendous scorer. 120 points in his draft plus 1 season. He had a great AHL career, being a bona fide point per game player. He would put up some points in his limited call-ups, looking like a potential middle 6 scorer. However, around 2019, Leipzig would severely fall off, serving as a fringe bottom 6 player at best. He'd be sent down on waivers by Vancouver, picked up by the LA Kings, where he did not impress. He would sign the next season with Washington, and just as the NHL season was wrapping up, a career-ending bombshell would be dropped on Brendan Leipzig. As I am not joking, but this dude ended his NHL career, a position many would die for. Not because he couldn't make a team or get a contract, no. His career ended because his Instagram DMs or messages got leaked. Everything you worked for your entire career, since you were a kid, thrown away because, well, you're just a horrible person. And I mean so horrible. His messages were so disgusting, making fun of current players and their pregnant wives. So putrid, basically just a bunch of high school boys viewing women as objects, but you're an adult playing in the NHL. And this would single-handedly, instantly earn him a terminated contract and a one-way ticket to the Gulag. And again, you need to be putrid, where Instagram messages can end your career, as Leipzig has now spent his last 2 years in the KHL, where he's actually been a solid player. But Brendan Leipzig is also the embodiment of the type of culture that needs to be removed from this game. We will end with the legend himself, the wet dog, Ryan Whitney, because after being drafted 5th overall from BU, also funny enough, that is none other than Ellen Hughes, the mother of Jack and Quinn Hughes. But after developing well within the NCAA system, Ryan Whitney would arrive to the NHL at what had to be the perfect timing. That is, Whitney's rookie season was also Sidney Crosby's rookie season. And with that, Ryan Whitney would have a lot of momentum. 38 points as a rookie, 59 points the next year, as Whitney was a large, mobile defenseman who could deliver tape-to-tape passes. However, Ryan Whitney basically had paper-mache ankles. Basically, you can use like a spritz bottle, like a spray bottle, on those things, and they will collapse and you are done for the season. Because after a few turbulent years, bouncing around several teams, still highly regarded as a great top 4 option, the paper-mache ankle issues would persist. But now, he was playing in Edmonton and was retweaking, if not injuring, those same paper-mache ankles. Because some people may not realize, but ankle support and, function is extremely important, if not just straight up required, to skate at the NHL level. And so, it was becoming evident that Whitney's time was done. In 2013, Ryan would sign a deal with Florida, and he would get sent down and spend his entire season in the minors. But Whitney at this point had his entire NHL career on the edge of a complete collapse, all because of his ankles. And as a last resort, my man would be shipped to the Gulag, the KHL, where he would experience the Russian gas firsthand and have the most bizarre season of his entire career, which was way too much to handle because the next season, Whitney would once again pack his bags, as the Gulag was just a bit too much to endure, and he would go to the SHL, where oddly enough he'd play with Elias Pettersson's brother, Emil Pettersson, and a rookie in Victor Olofsson. However, he would blow out his ankles in the first 2 games and have to abruptly end his entire professional career. But it's okay, I guess, because he did end up starting a little podcast with a guy named R.A.